Hey everybody, how are y'all doing today? Have you ever wondered, as a supplier, how you can help improve the customer experience? My name is Heather, and I'm the co-founder of RSG Sales, and I want to talk to you about that today. Earlier this week, I came across an article, or really it was a blog from an article from a blogger. And this particular individual was talking about what it's like to have the experience of buying from Wayfair. Now, I know that internet retailers preach all about the customer experience and how they want it to be amazing. And as a supplier, you say, yeah, I want the customer to have a great experience. But how can you really impact that as the supplier? In this particular article, written by the blogger who has the blog called Den Garden, she ordered two bedroom furniture for her two children. She needed a bed and she wanted storage underneath and some kind of side table, and I think a desk as well. And the first thing this particular blogger wanted to overcome was, is Wayfair a legitimate place to order? And by the way, this blog was dated on January 13th of 2021. So this article is only 2 months old. And that's an interesting thing, I think, because in my world, of course, I live in the world of Wayfair and all things home decor, but never occurred to me that I wouldn't think Wayfair was a legitimate place to purchase furniture. And so I think that speaks to the larger maybe problem or conundrum that internet retailers have, and then by virtue suppliers, right? So if we're still trying to convince people that, Wayfair is a good place to buy something or Amazon is a good place to buy something, they need to be educated that just because they're the platform for it doesn't mean they're the manufacturer for it. And I think that's really the biggest obstacle that I think Wayfair is trying to probably have to teach to its clients or customers. And then the next thing that I'm going to share my screen just to zip through this with you all. Secondary display. There we go. Okay. So let's make this so it's nice and big that everybody can see. Okay, so the next thing that I found to be interesting in this particular article was that is it the truth? Is it legit? Blah, 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 blah. Benefits of using, Wayfair, which as suppliers, we all know they're huge benefits. Here we go. We're talking about some pros and cons. And these are cons that we also, the pro and the con, we can use to our advantage as a supplier. So one of the things is right here, and I'm going to highlight it. And it says, you don't know if the item is comfortable or a good quality fit. Okay, this is keyword for images. And I want to make sure that is clearly stated. So if that's something that the consumer is worried about, let's counteract that on the front end, because that's not a Wayfair problem. That's a supplier problem. So then we're going to go down and I'll put a link to this article in the below. If you are interested, you can reach out as well. If you are a furniture supplier, assembly for a customer can be a major problem. So make sure, please, that your directions are very, very clear. And if you're using the pictures to show you how to assemble something, make sure that somebody in your office has actually assembled it themselves at least once, because that's how you're going to really discover those hiccups of where maybe a gap may be. If somebody in your office can't randomly put together your piece of furniture, then you need to relook at your directions, because there's a problem there. And also, please make sure you don't forget the instructions. That's a bad experience for the customer. In hardware, yes, please make sure all the pieces of hardware are included. I know that things do happen and sometimes you don't have a piece, but if you don't, be very responsive and proactive to the internet retailer when they reach out to you about that. That's another thing that really is a make or break, and kind of can set people apart. So it's just super important to do that. Okay. Also, one of the things I know suppliers worry about is that how long are they going to have my product before they can return it? Well, Wayfair's return policy is 30 days. It's a hard 30 days. So they have 30 days, they being the customer, to reach out to you to return the item. If it's day 31, Wayfair's not gonna go with it with them. Okay, so just make sure you understand that and that you're on board with that. Replacement parts, I mentioned it, but the other things there. This is what I wanted to talk about even more specifically. How to buy furniture online and avoid mistakes and returns. Hello, I don't know anybody, but returns because of customer remorse is not anything anybody wants to have. And we talk about that a lot in our coaching group. So why is it, that we want to focus on how to educate the customer on how to buy furniture online? Well, I hate to say this, suppliers, but this 100% comes down to you at this point. This is where merchandising is paramount. It is the way that you can stop customers from returning just as much as you can help them purchase your product. So you want to make sure you have lifestyle images which show the customer where and how a product can fit. You want to make sure that you have a lot of, I'm going to call them close-up and detail pictures and images. So in other words, if your piece of furniture has shelves, multiple shelves, you want to be able to zoom in, have close-up pictures that show that. You want to show the strength of the hinges. If you want to show how you have great drawer slides and pulls, you want to implement that. You also want to show maybe the wood grain. You really want to show like the color and the pattern and the style, whether that's wood grain or it's textile, quite frankly. So images are the fastest way for you to educate the customer. And this is a supplier problem. It is not a Wayfair or an Overstock or a Home Depot problem. So I just want to make sure we really, really, really hit on that. The other thing is you want to include dimensional drawings. And that's where you literally mark out, from top to bottom is 36 inches or whatever the case may be. It helps put it into context for individuals. Now, we also know that product title is number one, and we know that consumers don't necessarily read the bullet points and the romance description. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't still have all your information there that you possibly can. Because if that one person reads it and it keeps them from returning a product, or one person reads it and it makes them buy it because the competitor didn't have that information, then that is worth all the time and the effort in the world. So please put your details in with your bullet points and your product description, okay? I think the other thing, if we're gonna, zip down here, is, I think one of the things that people have difficulty understanding if they're the consumer, they look at Wayfair and they go, oh, this price is so cheap, and oh, this product is so expensive. So we need to make sure in your merchandising, if you are in the, the good versus better versus best, make sure you are very clear about and set clear expectations of what your product is. I mean, hey, a $100 entry level end table could be a big investment for some families, and that's fantastic. Just make sure you're really understanding and helping them understand the quality of the product they're going to get. And then if you're on the other side of that and you have a high-end product and that you are in the higher end price point, you really want to make sure you're using your merchandising effectively to demonstrate what sets you apart at the $400 level versus somebody who's at the $100 or $150. Okay, Friends, I hope this was helpful. If you have more questions or want to get in touch, I highly suggest you text me. And yes, if you are a regular follower, you see it as a new number. It's too hard for me to remember all the other digits. So we have a new number. It is 474-747. Text me. That comes directly to me. And I'd be love to engage with you and help you learn more. I also want to let you know that our next round of our Spark coaching group is going to begin on April 1st. And so if you are interested in that, I highly recommend that you click the link below and book a call. And we will, just have to answer a couple questions, and then you can go and book a call. All right, friends. Hope this was helpful, and I will see you next week. Bye.